A few questions here. I don't think we can avoid this tonight about sharia. It's become a kind of an assumption among many Americans now that what Muslims are really after is the imposition of sharia in every society in which they live, even Muslim minority countries. And it's not a lot understood about Sharia, but what is known is that crimes such as adultery, blasphemy, apostasy, and homosexuality are punishable by the death penalty. And to Westernize, this seems like a whole legal system that's a violation of human rights. So what is the intention with Sharia, especially for Muslims living in the West? Is the idea that eventually we get there and we all live under Sharia law?
You know, this is a legitimate question, and it's an important question, because many Muslims living, not only in the West, by the way, throughout the world, you have Muslims, they deny this. They say, no, they don't understand Sharia, or they reduce Sharia to the penal code, and sometimes it happens. But Sharia is not the penal code, and still with this, that it's not only the penal code, we really have a problem with the understanding of Sharia by Muslims, and the way it has to be understood in our time. And once again, many interpretations here. You have some Muslims, and you cannot deny this. Their perception of Sharia, it starts with the punishment, and then it goes towards social justice. Because you punish, you go to... And this is, for me, once again, problematic, and I'm critical of this, but I cannot deny the fact that you have a tiny minority of Muslim scholars, they think like that. In Nigeria, in Saudi Arabia, in Egypt, everywhere. You have another understanding of Sharia, which is we start with social justice, and then the punishment is part of the whole process. And my position, I wrote many times on that, for example, in Western Muslims and the Future of Islam, the understanding of Sharia is the way towards faithfulness, in which way we are faithful to some of our principles. So it's not a closed system. Muhammad Abdu in the 19th century, when he was studying, he was under the British colonization, and we don't want this colonization, we want them out of our country. But the parliamentarian system is the best for us as Muslims. It doesn't contradict our system. And he was of the opinion that the democratic system is not opposed to Islam. So you have trends saying this. My position on this is that Sharia is the way towards faithfulness, it's the way towards justice, it's the way towards mutual respect and living together. So this is why, for example, when I read the American Constitution or any European Constitution today, and it is said all the citizens, men and women, black or white, should be treated equally by law, this is my Sharia. I'm not going to change this. So the point for me is, when the principles are respected and the principles of justice is something which are not two systems that are opposed, they are principles that are common, that we can live together. So this is where, from an Islamic viewpoint, from within the Muslim communities in the West, you will see that the mainstream position coming from all the Muslim organizations in the West is we abide by the law of the country, we are loyal to our country, and we act as active and responsible citizens within the country. And the only thing that we can say today is look at the facts and the figures and not only the perceptions, because I was shocked. But what I got as an image, I didn't think that this could happen in the States, what we had with the community center in New York by people saying Islamization of America. I saw this in Europe. I thought it was impossible to have it here. And then it came here, meaning that the people are scared, there is a great deal of mistrust. These people are silently colonizing us. So this is where the Muslims, and this is why your question is important, should come and say, look, we are American citizens, we abide by the law, we respect the Constitution, we want to be treated equally, mutual respect and equal rights, no discrimination for any religion or no religion at all. This is the way it should be. And if you look at facts and figures, millions of Western Muslims today are just abiding by the law, and they get the 3 L's that I'm talking about in the book. Is the first, they abide by the law. The second, they speak the language of the country. English as you speak English, or German or British. They speak the language and they are loyal to the country. They want the best for their country. This is what it means to be a Western Muslims or Western or Muslim Europeans or Muslim American. And I think that the Muslims should also speak out about what they want, but they also need to be heard when they say things like this, because I have been repeating this for 25 years. And after 25 years, what I get is, smart guy. He has a double talk. He say this, but he means something else. So if someone is telling you always, when you say something, that you have something else in mind, there is no discussion. This is once again the end of the discussion, because the point is that there is no trust. There is no potential discussion and critical discussion. And by doing this, let me tell you something which is also important. It's very counterproductive. Because at the end there is no dialogue. It's not possible to talk, because if you talk and say, oh, you talk in a good way, it means that you have bad intentions. And if you speak in a bad way, oh, now we know your intentions. So what do you do? What are you going to do?
Could we